My name is Jason, and I'm a DJ. I produce my own music. I play or spin my own music that I buy or make at a party or club, but I don't pirate music. Now, if you guys don't know, music pirating is duplicating or distributing music that's not yours. It's kind of like a pirate stealing gold. So, pirating music in all ways, shapes, and forms affects the growth of the music industry. Now, first, a quick show of hands. How many people here listen to music? All right, hands down. How many like to download or get music? Keep those hands up. Now, from all of those, put your hands down for those who buy music. Now, for all those that raise their hands, compared to everyone that raised their hands who like to listen to music, that's more than half. Yeah, more than half. So, you see, the music industry is comprised of those who raise their hands, the pirates, those who put their hands down, because the consumers, places where you buy music from, the retailers like iTunes or record stores, and those who produce the music, record companies, and lastly, the artists, are all affected by piracy. Now, for those affected, the first one, the pirates, obviously they're the first ones to be affected because they're cracking down on piracy all around the world. UK and China, they filter everything that gets downloaded from websites under them. And even if you're stealing, you're still considered part of the music industry because you're part of the consumers. Pretty much, if you do the crime, you pay a fine or you do the time. I have an anonymous friend from this school named John Doe. Pretty much just received an email last week and from Columbia Records for a hearing for pirating music. Like I said, do the crime, you pay a fine or do the time. Next is second is the consumers, the ones who put their hands down. Consumers lose because of what pirates and bootleggers are stealing. Pretty much as pirates and bootleggers steal, cost for everyone else goes up, and that's how they're affected. And in the middle of everyone is the retailers. Retailers lose and are affected because they can't compete against the notion of free. Means to get less revenue means there's less jobs. Hence, the retailers are affected, and these jobs are usually attained by young people like yourselves. And next, the backbone of everything is the record companies. Now, they can't support everyone in the music industry, and they have obviously have a declining in sales. And according to the Record Industry Association of America, the RIAA, 85% of recordings released don't even generate enough revenue to cover their costs. The RIAA is a pretty reliable source because under them is 9% of all audio that's produced and sold in the U.S. Now, so if you think about it, each sale by a pirate represents a loss of a possible sale. From the 85 out of 100%, record companies depend on that little profitable 15%. Because of one, supporting, they need that 50% to support the less profitable 85. Number two, they assist in the cost for new artists that are coming up. And three, they need that money to keep the business operational. So pretty much music pirates don't focus on that little unpopular 85% or that big unpopular 85%. They focus on the 50% that everyone wants to download. And lastly are the artists. The artists are really affected, and these consist of musicians, songwriters, producers, and singers. They don't get the royalties that they rightly deserve. Nearly all artists, 95 to 100%, according to RIAA, depend on that revenue to earn a living. And you see, this piracy doesn't reflect the true colors and amount of fans that they have. And it doesn't reflect the true popularity of the artists, because they can't measure that. And pretty much the reputation is ruined due to inferior quality bootlegs. So whether you're a music pirate, you're a consumer of the music, you're a retailer of the music, or you sell it, you own your own record company, or you're an artist, you are part of the music industry, and the music industry's growth is affected by what? Music piracy. Thank you.
While you do it.
Hey, Ardell, Jesus.
right. I like the idea of the personal greeting and getting some credibility early on by talking about what you do and putting it in the context. I did think that your audience survey got a little bit confusing, the way you were having people respond. I wasn't sure if I was supposed to be putting my hand up or down depending upon a couple of particular answers, and finally I just withdrew from the whole survey. It's not quite clear to me what your proposition is. I know what the subject is, and I know there's a general issue that you're talking about. At the very end of the speech, you do have a statement that's a little bit clearer that there is an impact on the music industry of pirating, but you know, it's kind of vague about what the impact is, if it's substantial, if it's a negative impact. I think that that needs to be much clearer. I could probably make inferences about it being a negative impact from some of the supporting claims that you're presenting, but you don't always offer a lot of proof on those supporting claims. So for instance, when you talked about retailers being hurt and jobs being lost, well, we don't get any examples or documentation on that particular point. It wouldn't be that hard to point out how music chains have closed and the number of people that they employed who lost jobs. I think you could find some data like that, but you don't have any of that information. You mentioned the record industry, you know, 15% of the artists pay for the other 85% and cover that, but what percentage of that 85% is getting squeezed out because there's not enough money to go around? Are there illustrations of bands that might have been able to make a living 10 years ago based on the amount of sales that they had or the amount of revenues that the industry was producing that have gotten dropped, have been unable to continue in the industry because of this? I think that you need some examples on those kinds of things. You know, there is a little bit of a structure, but I'm not sure that you're doing more than informing us about the subject, and I think you need to make a clearer argument on those points. At the end, you did have a more clear point about what it was you're trying to say, and I appreciated that. I thought that that's a better way of summarizing the argument than some of the other things that you had said. Oh, and there was one place, for instance, where you made a claim about how people's reputations might be affected by the lack of quality, and that's a complete assertion. Where's there any data that affects anybody? It just seems to be something that you believe to be true. Even if it's the opinion of an expert, at least you could tell us that, and that would add a little bit more credibility to it. So, you know, you've got a good subject. It's organized. I just need the argument to be sharper. All right. Thank you.